Yes, sir.
Welcome back to the shadows of the internet, where fear has no filter and reality is just a code waiting to break if you dare to look deeper. Make sure to like and subscribe before we begin this tale that drags you beneath the surface of the dark web into a pit of terror that never truly lets go. It all began on a rainy October night in Krakow, Poland, when 26-year-old Adrian Nowak, a cybersecurity analyst and former ethical hacker, stumbled upon an invitation-only forum hidden deep in the Tor network. Adrian wasn't a stranger to the dark web. He had seen marketplaces, leaked databases, and even the so-called red rooms, most of which were hoaxes or cleverly staged illusions. But this forum, titled X0net, felt different. It wasn't hosted on any known protocol, and its code structure was erratic, glitchy, like it was trying to avoid being understood. The interface was pure black with red shifting symbols, almost pulsating like a heartbeat. He felt the odd urge to back away, but his curiosity as a digital archaeologist got the better of him. After days of decoding, he gained access, only to be greeted with a single prompt. Do you want to hear the truth? Thinking it was an ARG or elaborate horror project, he clicked yes. That's when everything changed. His laptop shut down, then restarted, but no operating system booted. Just a black screen and the phrase, "You're in now." At first, he thought it was malware, but then the lights in his apartment flickered. His Alexa spoke in reverse. His phone showed live footage of himself, though he had no camera turned on. Days passed, and the line between the virtual and real began to fade. He'd hear distorted lullabies at night, echoing from his speakers. His emails started replying on their own. One day, while debugging the device, he found a folder that hadn't been there before, titled Echologs. Inside were audio files, recordings of him talking in his sleep, describing events that hadn't happened yet. One file detailed a woman crying in his hallway. The same night, he heard knocks on his door, but found no one outside. Another predicted a fire in his neighbor's apartment that occurred 2 days later. Adrian was breaking apart, mentally, emotionally. Every night brought something new. Shadows moving under locked doors, files appearing with names of his friends, and then those friends dying under mysterious conditions. The final recording chilled him to the bone, his own voice whispering, "I shouldn't have clicked yes." Then came the hallucinations. Or were they? One night, he saw a man crawling out of his laptop, limbs thin and crooked, face pixelated and melting. The man didn't attack. He whispered, "You brought me through." Adrian smashed the laptop, thinking it was over. But that night, his television turned on by itself. It showed a live stream of Adrian sleeping. Someone was filming him. The next morning, he found scratches on the inside of his bedroom door, claw marks from the inside. Terrified, he contacted his old friend, a dark web cryptographer named Livia from Hungary, who confirmed something sinister. X0net wasn't human-made. It had no server origin, no traceable packets. It was like it existed between frequencies. A myth had existed in dark web lore, an ancient intelligence embedded in forgotten protocols, known as the Listener. Livia believed Adrian had awakened it by accepting the invite. Desperate, they tried destroying all electronics, but even analog radios began whispering, repeating phrases from the forum. Livia suggested they go underground, quite literally, to an old Soviet-era bunker in Slovakia, far from any digital signal. For a while it worked. The silence was real, peaceful, until the generator died one night, and the bunker's wall radios began playing the sound of a baby crying, then laughing, then Adrian's voice again from the future saying, "Livia is not real." Panic erupted. He turned to see Livia, but her eyes were pure static. She smiled and said, "The Listener thanks you." The walls began bleeding symbols. The ceiling cracked open to reveal a black void. Adrian tried to run, but the floor beneath him gave way. He awoke back in his apartment, like nothing happened. Was it all a dream? No. The folder was still on his desktop. His reflection in the screen blinked twice while he only blinked once. That was a week ago. Adrian hasn't left his apartment since. He has no devices. He writes on paper. But even now, the radio down the hall sometimes turns on and says his name. So if you ever find X0net, don't click yes. Don't listen to the whispers. Because once the listener hears you, it never forgets. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more digital horrors that creep beyond your firewalls. Until next time, keep your screens off at night.